What's one race you wouldn't date?
Black.
Why black?
Because I'm born and raised in Jacksonville, Florida, and I know how they are.
How are they?
Grimy.
What's one ethnicity you wouldn't date?
Honestly, nigga, black.
Whew. Ladies and gentlemen, this one's gonna be a video and a half. But hey, let's tackle it. Let's get at it like a crack addict. All right. So, a lot of people may feel like, as a black man or whatever, I should be upset. I should be irate. I should be mad that this particular young lady would say what she said. But I'm definitely one of those types of guys that likes to understand where that particular energy is coming from. As you guys saw, the young lady was asked the question. I want to believe that this was a real video, but maybe it wasn't. But let's go on the ideology that it was a real video. Let's go on the fact that it was real and she actually meant this, right? She said, what group of men would you never date? And she said, black men. And then she specifically went into her reason why, where she grew up, and how the particular men in that particular area acted. And that pretty much turned her off of all black men together. It does happen. Your environment can definitely influence the types of people you pick and choose to date or be in relationship with. I can use myself as an example. And although it doesn't necessarily equate to this being the only type of women that I date, if you consider that I lived in the Philippines for a significant amount of time, went to school there, went to college there, these were the only women that I knew, and this was the environment in which I grew up in, there's a high percentage chance that I myself will date a Filipina. And as you can tell, I've many years later married me a Filipina. So product of your environment is a real thing to me in that perspective. Now, you shift into the next video. The brother said he wouldn't date black women as well, or that was the particular type of race of people he wouldn't date. Now you start to see a bigger picture, or you start to understand a bigger picture. For the white girl, she just knew how guys in that area acted and kind of turned her off of black men. Now we can always say, and I've said it before, and I'll never, ever, ever loosen my stance on this one. You can, just because it's happening there, that's not representative of all black men, right? That's 100% true. Just because you grew up in Jacksonville, Florida, the particular black men in that area cutting the fool, being grimy, doesn't necessarily mean that all black men are grimy, right? I mean, it's a psychology thing. Just because something is this way automatically equates to something being this way. Not always true, right? But I want to speak on how some people feel when it comes to being African-American black men dating black women, right? And there was a guy who said something that was super profound, and I come across it often in my YouTube shorts, and I like it when I hear it because I believe it's true. He says that when it comes to a black guy dating black women more specifically, there's somewhat of a pressure or a feel or a need to provide automatically, right? And it's crazy though, because you'll see guys or you'll hear guys talk about, oh man, you meet a girl, you want to take her out on a date. What do you need to do, man? You need a cash app her so she can get her hair and nails done. You want her looking good on your date. These are some guys saying this shit, right? Some girls are actually saying, yeah, that's what a guy needs to do for me. Mind you, I don't know you. Mind you, I don't know where this particular relationship is going. But for some guys, it feels as though there is a pressure on the relationship to perform automatically, like off the rip. And you know what's crazy? That type of pressure that they put on us when it comes to dating, their own black men and whatnot, some of these particularly young African-American ladies, they may not ever in the beginning put that type of pressure if they were dating a white guy. I can almost go out on a limb and say they would never send a cash app request or tell a white guy or something like that, oh, you need to make sure I get my hair and nails done before we go on a date. And it starts to, again, raise a bigger question. How is it that we are nicer to other races rather than being nicer to ourselves in this particular regard? It gets to get a little bit deeper, but I like to look at it from the perspective of, hey man, you love who you love, you like who you like. And if you ever ask me the question, what particular culture or group of women I would never date, I always tell you guys there's no group of women on earth that I would not date, but I do find that women that come from these Muslim Middle Eastern countries may be the hardest for me to date. And I believe that's because, number one, the majority of them don't really date out if they're from that particular area specifically. Now, if you grew up in America, it's a little bit different. But also their men don't play. You know what I'm saying? So, there's certain types of people you can play with, people you can't. And as a result, it's not so much that you wouldn't date them. It's just that for the most part, they probably are one of the more, not alienated groups, but people who kind of stick to their own, right? And that's fair, right? So that's what I would say is that particular answer. But to sit there and say that black people in general, coming from both perspectives, are the hardest people to date, I think that's crazy, but it also does raise a valid question and concern amongst the community. Now, a lot of people will be like, Doc, what you talking about, bro? You married you an Asian woman. What do you really know about this? I got friends who deal with this shit on a regular basis, and I got to hear about it on a regular basis. So it's very easy to co-sign on that pressure of being a man in any relationship, but I can almost guarantee that a lot of my guys who choose to date outside the culture, choose to date Filipinos or women in Asia and other countries more specifically, and you might even say Latina community as well, that same pressure don't exist. I'm gonna tell you the truth, that same pressure does not exist. Now, that doesn't mean that you shouldn't level up. That doesn't mean that you shouldn't go out there and get you and take care of you and make sure that you can live the best possible life that you can on a financial level. But it does make it easier for you to get to that, right? Imagine if you're with a young lady that is basically pressuring you right now to have it together right now when you just don't have it together right now, as opposed to a young lady that is accepting of you as you are, right? Wherever you are in that state of mind or wherever you are in that particular state, they're going to rock with you, they're going to love you, and they're going to build with you. See, there's a big difference. Having the expectation, building with you. And for the most part, when it comes to women overseas, they're pretty much willing to build with you. And if you think about it, if we're going to be real, chances are you have more money at the particular moment than, they do. And as a result of that, you may have a perception of already being rich, but at least you're in a position to be able to be with somebody who's with you where you currently stand, as opposed to somebody who's already just expecting you to be something or to be somebody. And if you're going to come to the table, you got to have this, and this, and we not going to fuck with anybody less than this, and this, right? So they build up a criteria that you got to have automatic. And if you can't meet that, guess what? You a bum, you this, you that. And that's what kills me. Right? There's no building. You have to already have it together. You have to already have it. Hence the reason why there's so much pressure on you from Jump Street to have it all together. Right? So that's pretty much my takeaway from this particular video. Maybe you guys see it a little bit different. I just wanted to go ahead and politic about it because I felt like I wanted to get it off my chest. I do believe that when it comes to dealing and dating women of other races and or like how most men in my particular circle prefer dating overseas, it's not a lot of pressure. Not so much pressure where it's to the point where you feel like you have to have it all together right now. Because if not, then you're going to be frowned down upon, looked down upon, or emasculated in some way because somebody's going to look at you like you ain't got it, or you a bum, you this, you whatever. Off the rip, and they don't even know you, right? And that Cash App thing is for real. Right? Oh, Cash App me so I can take care of this before we go out, or oh, Cash App me so I can make sure that if you're dealing with a single mother, my kids got food or something like that, or Cash App me, send me money so I can get to you, or I can do this, right? So it's always, give me money first and let's figure out how this thing go work. And it's almost crazy because I can guarantee you they would not make those same requests of men of other races. Just my thoughts, right? Let's not trauma dump or anything like that. I'm just saying how I feel. If you guys feel a little bit different, you already know what it is, man. Y'all leave it down in the comment section below. Let me know. It's been a good talk, man. Y'all take care. Y'all stay blessed, man. Doc is out. Peace.